Hello Flosstube, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel, Loves Rubber Stamps and Needlecrafts. Today is Monday, February 15th of 2021 and this is my Flosstube video number 18. I think I've tried to start this video now like 47 times, literally 47 times. Each time I start talking and I just feel like I sound like an idiot, honestly, and so I have to keep starting over, and hopefully the 48th time will be my charm and we can just get through this video. I have a strong suspicion that I might be interrupted, though. I can hear my son kind of wandering around upstairs, and I'm pretty sure he's going to come down and ask me about supper eventually. So if we get interrupted, I apologize. You might hear my dog bark if Austin comes down. So I will try to edit that out if it happens. But let's try to get going through this video and see if I can make it this time. Before we get going, I did want to take a second to just thank everybody that has subscribed to my channel. Since my last video, I've had several new subscribers. It's always exciting to me to get the notifications of new subscribers, and also I did receive several comments as well on my last video when I did my whip parade. So I just wanted to thank everybody that took the time out of their day to leave me a comment on there. It's always really fun to read through those and get feedback and to hear about the projects that you share that people enjoyed seeing. So just thank you everybody for subscribing and leaving me comments. It's, with all the floss tubers out there, it always means a lot to me that you found something in my channel to be inspired by, and that you like what you see, and that you want to be notified when I make new ones. So thank you so much. Just really quickly, if I look down this, because I have my notes right here, to try to keep me on track today. Like I said, it's just one of those days for me today. I don't know why, but anyway, just a quick life update before I get going. There really hasn't been too much going on here. Here in Iowa, it's been super cold the last week or so. We are kind of in a deep freeze. In fact, I think pretty much the whole US is in a deep freeze, honestly. But it's been horribly cold. This morning when we woke up, it was -11 for the regular temperature where I live, and our wind chills have been about 40 below zero. So dangerously cold. Haven't really went anywhere because I don't like to be cold, which is silly because we live in Iowa, but I don't like cold. So I have been trying to stay home as much as I can. Pretty much just leave to when I have to go to work. So not much excitement going on there. If you see out my window out there, you can see our giant pile of snow. So we've gotten a lot of snow and a lot of cold, and I'm ready for summer. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, and it's also our wedding anniversary. We got married on Valentine's. This year was our 24th wedding anniversary. My husband and I have actually been together this year for 30 years because we dated for 6 years before we got married. But it was our 24-year wedding anniversary. So exciting thing is for my I told my husband for my present for our anniversary / Valentine's Day gift, I wanted a cheap tablet so I could try to use Pattern Keeper for my full coverage design, since I like to stitch those. So he actually didn't buy me a real cheap one, but he got me the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7. So I just got this yesterday, and for my anniversary, And so I watched a few tutorial videos on Pattern Keeper and how to get your charts in there. So I've got all 6 of my Heaven and Earth designs that I have started loaded in there. And yesterday, basically, I spent the day marking off my charts on where I'm at, so that I can start using that. So I got to stitch a little bit with Pattern Keeper on my tablet yesterday. And, you know, I've heard people say that Pattern Keeper is awesome and that, you know, if you stitch full coverage, you really need it. Well, that's really true. So this is going to save so much time. It's, you know, even just the not having to search your chart for the symbols, just that feature alone is going to save so much time. So the little I've got to use it, I don't know how I lived without it stitching full coverage before. So I think that's going to be awesome. So score points for my hubby for getting me my tablet. And yeah, if you stitch full coverage, really invest in a, you know, a tablet, an Android tablet that and try Pattern Keeper out, because wow, it's awesome. So I'm excited to play with that some more. What else? My work, speaking of my work stitching and stuff, starting tomorrow, actually, I am having to switch shifts for the next, till the end of April. I'm going to have to start working the afternoon shift. Usually I work overnights from 11 to 7, but starting tomorrow, I'm going to have to go to the afternoon shift, which is 3 in the afternoon till 11 at night, because I'm going to be training. So I'm going to be training a couple of the new ladies, like I said, till the end of April. So basically that's going to interfere with my at-work stitching. I'm not going to be able to work on any of my projects that I typically would work on at work during my downtime. So that's kind of a bummer, but have to train. You know, we need people to work, so that'll be a little different. So what I'll probably have to do is, for my rotation at home, like somehow while I'm training, just try to work in my work Heaven and Earth that I would stitch on, so that way they're just not getting ignored completely. So I think that's pretty much it for life updates. So we'll go ahead and I will get started with showing you my whips. My whips for January. I got off my rotation right off the bat at the very beginning of the year because oh, what is the Facebook group's name? See, I'm having one of those days where everything, I can't think straight. So, the monthly magazine challenge group on Facebook, in January, they had this fun challenge called Barango, and I really wanted to participate with that. And my plan was, for the challenge, you made a bingo board, and the requirement to fill your spot was you only needed to stitch on the project for either 1 hour or do 100 stitches. So originally I had planned on doing the prompt of the day and do, you know, the hour 100 stitches, and then switch to my regularly scheduled rotation project. But I learned something about myself, which is when I start stitching on something, I can't just stitch on it for an hour and then put it away. I want to keep going on it, or I noticed that when I would pull stuff out, I would have like little mini goals that I wanted to reach before I would put it away. So to be completely honest, like, I didn't finish the challenge. I only did it for probably about a week and a half because, no, I take that back. It should have only taken me a week and a half for the projects that I did, but it pretty much took me the full 3 weeks just to get the projects done that I did, because I couldn't just stitch for an hour and put it away. Like, I wanted to either finish a little section or gave myself little goals for the project that I wanted to hit before I put it away, because I'm just finding out that I can't, when I start working on a project, I just want to keep going on it. So it didn't work very well for me. Let's put it that way. But I did get some good projects on a lot of things I wouldn't have normally probably worked on. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll show you the ones that I ended up working on. So, all right, sorry about that, a little interruption, but we'll go ahead and I'll start showing the whips that I worked on in January. So for the Barango challenge, these are the projects that I ended up working on. So one of the prompts was to have a new magazine start that wasn't one. They have an acrostic challenge, and then they have the Barango. So they had 2 challenges in January. Well, the first prompt, or this prompt, was to do a new magazine start that wasn't one for the acrostic. So I used out of the winter 2014 Stony Creek magazine. I started this project called Back Again Someday, which is a sweet little snowman in the spring getting ready to melt, which I think is very sad, but he's adorable. And so this was a new start for me in January. So for the challenge, I started him, and this is where I got. So I basically just got his little scarf done. This is being stitched on Stony Creek 28 count fabric in Summer Clouds, because I wanted it to look like a sky. So that's where I got to. This took me longer than an hour, but I basically wanted to finish the scarf. That's what I told myself I wanted to get done before I put it away. So that was my first project. And the next one that I worked on was for a prompt to stitch on something that had words. So I pulled out my winter chalk, Seasons in Chalk Winter by Priscilla, Blain, and Hands-On Design. And this is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine, February of 2016 issue. And this was already a whip for me, so I will put a picture of where I was before the challenge here. And this is where I got to for the challenge. So basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to finish that W. So I did that, and then I added a few of the little, starting to do the little Smyrnas of the blue specialty stitches. So this is going to be really pretty, I think. I really love that blue color. It's a Weeks Dyeworks floss. I think it's a Weeks Dyeworks floss, but it's really pretty. And this is being stitched on 32 count slate linen by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So I got a little bit of progress on that one. And then my next project that I did for Barango was, the prompt was for you had to do the acrostic for the letter A in the acrostic. And so I picked my spring ABCs, since it was A, B, C, by Little House Needleworks. That's what it'll look like when it's finished. And I will put a picture of where I was before the challenge here. And then this is where I got to. So I added the word nesting and a little flower, and then I did these letters. So here's a look of what the whole project looks like so far. And I am making a few floss adjustments with this, like I'm adding some of the ladybug that Priscilla did, and the other thing I changed was the tree trunk I'm doing in hickory sticks instead of the regular called for colors. But for the most part, I'm using the colors that are called for, just adding a few different ones inspired by Priscilla from Stitching with the Housewives. And this I'm stitching on a 28 count Murano, or is that right? 28 count, no, not Murano, 28 count Monaco. See, my brain today, I tell you. Monaco fabric that I coffee tea dyed, using Priscilla and Chelsea's tutorial, and also which I think which is very similar to the tutorial or the instructions that Vanna, the Twisted Stitcher, does when she tea dyes her fabrics too. So the next project that I worked on for Barango was, the prompt was the acrostic for the letter F as in Frank. And I chose to work on my Durene Jones and Lakeside Needlecrafts Fantasy Sal stitch along. So I will insert a picture of what, I don't have a cover sheet for this one, so first I'll show a picture of what it's supposed to look like finished here. And then this is a picture of where I was at before the challenge. And this is what I did for the challenge. So I stitched the little butterfly motif. So that's what I got done. So this is where I'm at for the whole thing. And this one I'm stitching it on a 32 count opalescent linen called Fairy Dance, and it's by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So I just did that little butterfly for the challenge. And then the next project I worked on for the Barango challenge was from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and it's Into the Jungle. And this one, it was for the acrostic letter I. And this is what it will look like when it's finished. And all I had done before the challenge was I had the little sloth block completed, and that was it. So after the challenge, for the challenge, I decided to stitch the little tree frog. So I went ahead and completed that one. I think he's really cute. And my fabric is from Crafty Kitten Fabrics, and it was a July 2016 limited edition, her fabric of the month. I used to belong to that. Beautiful fabrics. Her colors are always amazing. I don't think I ever received a fabric that I didn't like. They were all gorgeous. But so I am changing the border colors for the boxes. I'm just using a couple of my Mo Sale Floss for the box borders. Otherwise, the colors of everything inside are what's called for. So I thought the little frog was adorable. So again, I couldn't just stitch on it for an hour. Like when I started the little character block, I wanted to finish it. So I just worked on this one until I got the frog done. And then the last project that I ended up doing for the Barango challenge was I pulled out my A Cozy Winter's Glow. It's a Friends Forever design. And it's in the World of Cross Stitching magazine issue 118. And the prompt for this one was to stitch on your least favorite color. So I'll insert a picture of where I was at last time here. And this is where I got to. On it. This is just being stitched on a 16 count white Aida, but my least favorite color is white on white stitches. Like, I don't like stitching white, which is crazy because I love snowman patterns and like winter patterns. So I always have projects that have a lot of white in them, and like the chalk patterns that Priscilla designs, they're amazing. Sorry, I keep getting notifications on my phone. That's what keeps getting my attention there. My work is putting out overtime options. So anyway, so in order for me to work all the way around to get to, but really the only white I had that I could get to easily was on his little hat brim, but I didn't want to count there, so I started the red because my goal was I was going to finish his jacket, go clear up and do his hat to get to this white part, but it was just taking me too long to get there, so I just got to the white and then I put it away, even though I really wanted to keep working on it then to finish the hat at least and his little coat. But like I said, to make for the challenge, you only had to work on it for an hour or 100 stitches, but I was setting myself goals like that, and I was spending way too much time trying to work on projects for the challenge instead of sticking to my rotation and getting my projects done for my rotation. So after these projects, I decided, you know, that it's fun and I really liked it, but I really want to try to stick to my rotation and work on the projects that when they come up, and then get the progress on them that I want to get before I put them away. So I found out that challenges are fun, and I do like participating in challenges and stuff, but sometimes it just doesn't jive with I don't get a lot of stitching time at home, it seems like sometimes, and especially now, like right before Christmas, I started getting like tennis elbow in my arm, which is my right arm, which is I'm right-handed, so it's in my main arm. And so I haven't really had a lot of stitching time. And when I do stitch, I don't stitch very long because my arm starts to hurt because I keep it bent and, you know, the repetitiveness. So I do have a brace on it. Hoping that helps. It is feeling better than it has been, but that's kind of helped me up too. So I haven't had a whole ton of stitching time. So I just found that in January when I was trying to do that challenge, that I wasn't able to stitch on both my main project that I needed to do for my rotation and my challenge pieces. So I really like participating in challenges and stuff. I think it's fun. So what I did is in my random draw box, I do have a prompt that I can pull the random draw that is to you know, when that comes up, I'm supposed to pick a challenge and participate in it for that rotation. So then I can still play along in some challenges sometimes. And then also, since it would be for that prompt, I would also get like a 12-hour rotation on it. So I think that might work better. So yeah, it is kind of fun and interesting to try different things like that, because you kind of learn about how you are as a stitcher and what works for you and what doesn't. And I found that I am not a person that can try to work on multiple things a day, because like some of those whips, I kind of talked about this before, but you know, for people that have a lot of whips and stuff, sometimes you have your favorite whips that draw your attention. So some of your other whips that don't really call to you as strongly, so you don't pull them out. But for me, even those ones that don't call to me as strongly, like when I get them out and I start working on them, I really enjoy working on them and I don't want to stop once I get going. So so that was it was fun to do the challenge to find that out about myself. So I always encourage people to, you know, try different things and try switching it up. So those were the projects that I worked on for Barango, and so now I'll show you the other projects that I've worked on since my last video. So I was working on my Jayne Netley Mayhew from this book called Cross Stitch Safari, and my project is the one I was working on is my Queen of the Leopard, or my Queen of the Cats Leopard. And here is where I got to for my rotation. Since this was a rotation piece, I worked on it for about 12 hours. And here's where I got to. There's my fabric, and there's where I got. Sorry, let me move my one light. Here we go. Kind of wide, but so right in this section that I'm working on here is massive confetti. So it was color change upon color change upon color change, if you can't tell. So this was really slow going for me, but I think it's going to look amazing on this fabric. This fabric is a 16 count fabric from Fabric Flare called African Sunset. But that took a while. I think once I get out of that grass and actually can start working on the leopard, like here's some spots for the leopard in the grass, but I think once I get out of this grassy area and into the actual cat, it'll go faster, because this one was like you did 3 or 4 stitches and you'd have to change colors, and it was a lot of color changing. But I think it's going to look amazing on that fabric. Now, I did have a question on my last video about Jayne Netley Mayhew's charts, because a lot of her charts that you find in the magazines and like in this book, like her charts are, I'll just show a little tiny portion, but they're in color. So her charts are color charts. And the person had asked me how I worked with color charts, because he also loved her artwork, and but has a hard time stitching the charts that are in color, and he wondered how I handled that or if I had a problem with it. And for me, I did answer him in the comments, but I thought I would just talk about it briefly. But I also have a harder time with color charts, because I'm one of those that have to I have to keep track of where I'm at in my pattern. So unless it's like something really small, but like something like this, it's really complicated. I have to be able to mark off where I'm at, and it's really hard. I typically make a working copy of my charts and then use a highlighter to mark where I've been. So sorry for my light. So in here, I will just kind of show a little snippet. So I ended up just making a black and white copy of the chart with my photocopier. And what I do is I try to put it on the absolute lightest, because some color charts you can make a working copy and you can still read them fairly well. But with Jayne's charts, sometimes it's just a colored square, like say different shades of brown, and they're just solid color squares, instead of having a symbol in it. So those ones you have to still kind of use your color chart. So what I do is I make my black and white copy of my chart, and then I pretty much still have to use my color chart to do the stitching. So I use both. I use the color chart to see where, to read the symbols and to stitch, but then I still use my black and white copy to mark where I've been on my charts. So I have to use a combination in order to stitch those. So it's not ideal. It does make it a little bit more tricky. But really that's the only way I found that works for me, to try to use the color charts and still be able to mark off my progress of where I'm at. Especially since I have so many whips and I go back and forth. So I have to be able to have a working copy and know where I'm at, in between the times I work on them. So I do know that I had purchased, Jayne Netley Mayhew has a website where she sells charts. I had purchased one of her charts called, actually it's right over here, so let me show you. I have it kitted up ready to go for a start, but for one of my to start some days. But I had wanted to stitch this is called Motherly Devotion. It's giraffes. But I had wanted to stitch this for a kind of a tribute piece to April the giraffe when she had her little baby. Because I was like riveted to I checked on her every day and was kind of riveted to when she had her first calf, Tajari. And so I'd wanted to stitch this just kind of as a tribute piece to, that time, and plus it's adorable. But I ordered this from Jayne's website directly, and this one had actually, this chart had been in I think a World of Cross Stitching issue several years ago. But the one that I bought off of her site, this is actually a black and white chart, and it was in color in the magazine. So her charts, at least this one that I ordered from her website directly, is black and white. So that might be an option for you to check. If you have a harder time with her color charts, maybe check her website and see the design she offers through there. And maybe there's some that you would find to, you know, that would be in the black and white charts then. So so that may help. So that was that one. And then the next project I've been working on is my Dark Queen of the Sea. And this one I've fallen really far behind on. So now we're through part 6 is the part that released this month, which is, so December's chart, I'm still working on December's release because it was her hair, and she has a lot of it. And so basically December's release was her hair and her face. Well, I know what face, you got to choose. There was 2 different faces, and they gave you a whole bunch of different hair color. They gave you 2 hair color options and 2 face options in the December release. But then they also came out with an add-on pack for even more hair options. So I just could not decide what I wanted to do for her hair. So I procrastinated and couldn't decide, so I didn't stitch on her. Well, now we're in February and I'm still, so I didn't do any of January's release, and I haven't even started on February's part. So now I'm behind. So I'm finally decided what I want to do for her hair, after being inspired by a lady in the Facebook group. She had done her hair, so it was kind of, it had some blues in it and some green, so it kind of looked like seaweed. And she also changed the color of her lips to like dark colored, and changed her eye color to like a goldish brown, and it looked amazing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of being inspired by her design and trying to do my coloring as close as I can to what she did, because I really thought it looked nice. So I have just recently started her hair, so I'm not very far. But I will insert a picture here of where we are at with this newest release in February. So this will be everything, all the different parts to February. So I'll put the picture of it here. And the version that I put up there is the alternate face version. I'm going to do, that's not the face I'm going to do the other one. But I wanted to show this picture because January's part was the coral and the leaves that came up. And then February's release is the black swirl. And we got 2 options for the swirl. So you could do what's called a magic ball, and it was just this where her hand is up like this. There was like a swirl of magic, and it was this kind of 2 different colors. So like she was conjuring magic in her hand. The other option was where she had that skull. So like a skull was emerging from her magic. So I'm going to do the skull version. That's why I wanted to share that one. And that is the version that Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics has stitched. So that's why I showed that one. So the version I'm going to stitch for February is going to have that skull in it. But anyway, where I'm at currently is here. So as you can see, I've finally started her hair. And this is the darker part here. And then as it comes around, it's going to be lighter, kind of lighter greens and more variegation. But as you can see, this greenish color, that one is a silken colors that I'm using. So that's, the green is one color there. And then this is a DMC color. So I'll kind of show you the color palette that I'm going to use, but that's where I'm at. My fabric is a 32 count Opal Belfast in Into the Mystic by Color Cascade Fabrics. So the color palette that I'm going to use for her hair, the lady that whose hair design that I was inspired by, I'm using all the same colors that she used except for one because I couldn't find it. So her colors were 939 DMC, 930, and 931. And these colors are also used in the chart and other places. So those are the blues. And then the silken colors that I'm using, that she's also using, is called Dark Forest silken colors. And this one's kind of hard to see because I have it all unwound, but it's this really pretty like greens. Goes from kind of a dark seaweed green to lighter greens. So that's the other color. And then the lady had used a different silken color that looked like a lighter green, but I couldn't find it on their website. So I just went through my floss that I have, and I decided that I'm going to try this green from Color and Cotton called Wood Nymph for my lighter green. And it's kind of got some blue, almost like a bluish light green. So to me that kind of looked like seaweed. So it kind of, I thought it went well with the other colors. So this is kind of her hair color palette, if you can. I don't know if I can. That's not going to work very good, is it? So, kind of the greens, and then my DMCs. So, that's where I'm at with that one. So hopefully now that I figured out her hair, I really want to get caught back up. Another change that I'm going to do is with the February version, there's been several people in the group because the chart called for just regular DMC to do the magic swirls. And the magic swirl is in black and kind of a dark navy blue. But they had made the suggestion to use the Etoile, DMC Etoile floss instead, because apparently it makes it look, they described it as kind of an inky color. So I went ahead and bought the Etoile. It's got a little bit of a sparkle in it. You can kind of see. In the two colors that you needed, 823 and the DMC, the black. And so I'm going to use that in her magic swirl for the swirling magic around her. And I think for the skull too, I think there was one lady that had like a gold metallic, and she put like a gold tooth in, so I've thought about doing that. And I thought about adding maybe like a red Mill Hill bead for the eyes, so they have like beady red eyes. But so that'll be fun when I get to that part. But first I got to get through that huge expanse of hair. But I would really like to get caught back up on that because I didn't really want to fall behind, and I did. So I've been working on that. So when I'm done with my video, I'm gonna try to work on her again. And then my last whip that I've been working on is my Work Heaven and Earth. I've still been working on my Dog Double Shelf by Randall Spangler. And I'm stitching this one on a 28 count white Lugana 1/1. And this was the one that I got to work on a little tiny bit with Pattern Keeper, and it's awesome. Like I said, I didn't really, because I am still going to, even with Pattern Keeper, I do like the highlighter pattern, highlight my pattern, because these projects are going to take me years and years and years to do. And I didn't want to be like 30 pages in on my HAID and have something happen to my tablet, or have something happen to Pattern Keeper where I lose the app or it crashes, or you know how technology is. So I still plan on, I'm using Pattern Keeper and marking it off in there too, but I'm also going to be redundant and also still mark it off on my paper copies. That way, if something does happen, I will still be able to stitch my project and know exactly where I'm at. Just for me, it's safety. I'm not a huge technology person, and the great thing about technology is it's amazing, makes your life easy, but realistically, it always breaks down eventually. So whether something happens to my tablet or the program itself, I want to just make sure that I can still finish my projects without an issue. So, but yes, I love Pattern Keeper, and I didn't think that I needed it. Like I said, I'm perfectly content with my paper copies and highlighting, but with some of my charts, I like to stitch the max colors, which there's one of my charts that I think it has 280 colors or something like that. So it's like 7 pages of symbols. And so just that feature when in Pattern Keeper where you can highlight a symbol and it pulls it up in the color key and it tells you the color it is, that is just going to be a huge time saver just for that part. Anyway, get Pattern Keeper if you stitch full coverage. You'll love it. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture of where I was at on my dogs here. And here's where I'm at now. So I basically just continued working in the spine, and I've just been working on this one color. I'm basically gonna get all these color stitches in and then start filling it in. So that's where I'm at now. So those are all of my projects that I've worked on since my last video. There was a lot. Like I said, I didn't get as much progress on I didn't get as far in my rotation. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't, instead of, working through the projects in my rotation, I took a break and did that Barango challenge. So now, after I've been working on the Dark Queen, but my next piece is for my rotation is my Redbirds piece. So hopefully in my next video, I'll have been able to start working on that. That piece was pretty popular in my whip parade. So speaking of Redbirds, before I show you some of my my haul that I got for Christmas and stuff, January 15th was actually my Flosstube anniversary. So I thought, since I've had a whole bunch of new subscribers and I have my Flosstube anniversary, I will go ahead and do a giveaway. And exciting news for all of you people that love my Redbirds piece that I'm working on. I have an extra copy of the Just Cross Stitch magazine that has the pattern in it. So I am going to do a giveaway for this magazine that has the Redbirds piece. So there's also several other beautiful designs in this that I want to stitch as well. Like, I'll show you a couple of them, but this is the piece that I'm stitching called Redbirds by Marie Barber, and this design is in this magazine. So if anybody would like to stitch Redbirds, or I'll show you some of the other patterns in here, like these Santas. I love these Santas and I want to stitch them. These are by Carol Emmer, which I love Carol Emmer's Christmas designs and her Santas. So that these charts are in here, and it's all 4 of them. So all 4 of those. Let's see. I thought this one was kind of cute, and this one is by, this one's by Marie Barber too, but it's in To All a Good Night. It's just a Santa hat. That one was neat. There's a really pretty piece by Sharon Pope, which is the Star of David in there. So anyway, like I said, I have this extra copy of the magazine, and so I'm going to do a giveaway for this. So if you're interested in entering my giveaway, just make a comment in the comment section and just mention Redbirds. Like, I want to stitch the Redbirds. Don't mention giveaway, don't mention free. And I do ask that you are a subscriber, in that in order to enter my giveaway, just be a subscriber, and put in the comment, I want to stitch the Redbirds, because that's the phrase I'll look for, is Redbirds in my comment picker. So I will ship this anywhere. So even if you live overseas, I will ship over there if you're a subscriber. So if you're interested in trying to win a copy of this magazine, just leave a comment with Redbirds in it. And I am going to, since it's the 15th today, the contest will close on, we'll say March 15th. I will do, hopefully I will make a Flosstube video right after that and share the winner, but in my next video. If I have a video before that, I'm going to leave this open till March 15th. So you have 1 month to get entered. So just leave a comment on this video of Redbirds if you want to try to win the magazine. And that's just to say thank you to everybody that subscribes and for watching my channel. And it really means a lot to me, like I said before. So now I'm just going to share the things that some things that I got for Christmas, and some kits that I've picked up. So if you're not into haul, or you don't want to see the things that that I've received, that kind of stuff, I will go ahead and bid you farewell now. I want to thank you for watching my video and subscribing and leaving comments. It means a lot to me. So be sure to hit the bell next to your subscribe button so you can be notified when I do make videos, since I don't make them as regularly as other floss tubers. It just depends on when I have progress to be able to share. So but like I said, at least for the giveaway video, that will be right after March 15th. So now if you're going to stick around, I will show you quickly some of the things that I have gotten haul wise and for Christmas. So a couple of little tools that I bought for myself. I got this, I haven't used it yet, but it's called a thread straightener. And because I bobbinate my floss, sometimes, when you have those old skeins that get kind of kinks in your floss. I've never had problems with kinks, but you basically put the floss in between these two little roller things and you squeeze them together and you pull the floss through, and it's supposed to get rid of the kinks. So I haven't tried it, but I thought I would have it just to try it. So another thing I got was this highlighter guide that has 2 magnets on it. I thought this would be helpful for me, especially with like the Jayne Netley Mayhew charts. It's in color, since I would have to be using my black and white copy to try to highlight and going back and forth between the color chart and my working copy. I thought this might help. Kind of, you put it on there and it holds kind of the spot, highlights the area that you're on, or you can underline it. Or so I got one of these to try. I haven't tried it yet. And then I got my Just Cross Stitch February issue, and I just wanted to share one design in here that I definitely want to stitch. It was the cutest ever. And it's by Autumn Lane Stitchery, the same designer that does the Dark Queen. But look at these little love gnomes. How adorable are they? So I definitely want to stitch this. Lovely gnomes, but so cute. So I just really love that. And that's in the February 2021 issue. My address is down here, so adorable. A lot of cute stuff in there, but definitely want to stitch that one. And I know that I think Aaron just put out on, they have an Etsy site that has their patterns and designs, and he just did a gnome ornament that kind of matches that design as well, that he sells in his Etsy store. So some of the charts I received for Christmas, I got the Waxing Moon designs. This is the first chart in their new series, like a monthly series. So this is January, February, March. I love the groundhog. Screaming. He's all excited to finally come out to see if he has a shadow or not. Then I got this one called Murphy by Rosie and Me. This little sweet singing snowman. Was belting his little heart out. And then I had to get Lindy Stitch's Blue Footed Boobies. I love these guys. They're so cute. And then I got Plum Street Samplers, the new trio called Raccoon Rabble. Look at the little baby raccoon on there. That's so sweet. And then I also got the Rack Stack. I didn't have this one yet. I love that deer. Look at his antlers with the swirls. That would also make, like, even if you just did that part, it would make a cute Christmas ornament for your tree. Those little swirly antlers. So cute. And then I got this chart. It's called Weeping Tree Sampler by the City Stitcher. And I just really like the trees on this one. And I like how the alphabet's kind of with the tree branches. So it's not like your typical sampler where it's just all in a row. It kind of blends in with the trees. So I really liked that. And I love the brick house. I'm probably not going to enjoy stitching the brick house, but it is pretty. And the sentiment on it says, "Here my work forever stands, the labor of two busy hands." So I also have some of these City Stitcher. I have this chart and some of their other charts, some of their other samplers in my store online. My store name is just Loves Rubber Stamps and Needlecrafts, just like my channel name. And my website is just lovesrubberstamps.net. That's my store website. If you are interested in this chart, they're not very expensive. So Weeping Tree Sampler. And then I also added these to my store, the Blackbird Designs Winds of Autumn booklets. I love this. And I've been wanting to get this giant strawberry because this was a club piece for a club that was released a while ago. So it was really hard to find, and on eBay, of course, that design would go for like $100. So I didn't think it would ever be one I'd get or be able to stitch, and it was released in this book. So there's 12 different projects in here. I'd probably stitch this whole book, to be honest. They're gorgeous. Some of them have been out a while, like this one. And I think that one's been out, but there are some gorgeous designs in here. So very nice. One of their giant books. Beautiful pictures. I also have been wanting to get this one. It's an older chart that's been out a while, but I didn't have it yet, and it's in the book, so that's awesome. So yeah, so I love this. I do have a couple of copies of this in my store if you're interested in it. I also got Blackbird Designs Early Christmas Morning. I think that's pretty. And I got the Little House Needleworks Kris Kringles store for Christmas. It's beautiful. I didn't have that one yet. I'd like to stitch it. A lot of people are already stitching it, but. And then one thing that I bought my mom and my sisters both these tote bags from That's So Kelly, and I had to get myself one. But it's a nice big tote bag that says Stitchy Stuff. But I thought this would be fun to take to retreats and stuff to hold all your projects or your floss that you're bringing. So I got a big tote bag for myself, my mom, and both my sisters, since they both stitch too. And I also got us all, I got my mom and my one sister and myself a sweatshirt. I should have wore it today, but I didn't. But it's also by That's So Kelly on Etsy. And it says, weekend forecast, 100% chance of stitchy butt. And I just thought that was hilarious because that's always our goal for the weekends, or at least for me on my days off, trying to get stitchy butt as much as possible. So I also got my sister Leah, who lives in Florida, a t-shirt that had that sentiment, but since she lives in Florida and she doesn't wear sweatshirts very often, so I got her a t-shirt instead. But super cute, very high quality. Be sure I'll put a link, or I'll put the store name, at least if I can't figure out how to link it, down below for Kelly's shop. That's So Kelly on Etsy. Her stuff's awesome. So since my last video too, I have been lucky enough to win 2 of the Clay by Kim needle minders. Those things are so hard to win. Like, I very rarely do it. Like, I get one, I go to check out, it's gone. So it's very frustrating to me. But every once in a while I do get lucky and I manage to snag one. So the first one I've snagged was her Frost. Let me take it out of this. I also know that she also sells her dragons and like some of her stuff on eBay, but they go pretty high on there, so I haven't been able to win one off eBay. But the first needle minder I got was the Frost Moth. I thought the colors in it were beautiful. It's kind of shimmery and sparkly. I'm kind of nervous about using this one on a project. I might, if I use it, I'd have to use it on my scroll runs because I don't want to have it in one that is going to get bumped around because I'm afraid that these little antennas will break off. But beautiful work. So I managed to win one of those. And then the other one that I managed to snag was one of the dragons, and it was the Frost Dragon. I really was hoping I could win one of the ones that have the candy canes, or the candy cane peppermint ones, but I never was able to get one of those this time. But this is the Frost Dragon that I was able to win. Look how beautiful it is. Same colors, very sparkly. And I love the wings. The detail that she gets with her, like the different shadings, and her work is just amazing. It's just beautiful and unreal. She's got these ones that she's doing now that I've seen her advertise on, or show her progress on. And I think her last release, which I missed, featured the ones that she's doing that are peacocks, like dragon peacocks. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I wish I could win all of them, but they literally post and everything is gone within less than 5 minutes. So you have to be super speedy. You have to have a super speedy internet, which we don't, which is why I don't win very often. So it's always like, I feel like I win the lottery every time I manage to get one of her designs. So another thing that I purchased was from an Etsy store called ScarletSkyDesignsTX for Texas on Etsy. And they make really adorable cutout, like wood pieces for your finishing. So I got snowman, and I got one for my mom too. Mom, I got one for you. But you can cross stitch and you can finish a little piece on there. So I thought he was cute. They also have their stores on Etsy, like I said. They also have like cutting board style designs, and they have another one that's like a coffee mug that I want to get, and they have a chicken shaped board. But these are super cute for your cross stitch finishes. So I got the snowman. And like I said, Mom, I got a snowman for you too. So. And then when I put in my order for my DMC Etoile, I ordered it from Stony Creek because their new magazine just came out, so I had to get their new magazine. This is their winter of 2021 issue, and I love their magazines. Their stuff is so cute. There's a couple of designs in here that I really liked. I love this one, but it's a little sloth. Look how cute he is. And it says, slow down, take a deep breath, relax, which I think we all could use that advice some days, but look how sweet he is. I love sloths. I think they're one of my spirit animals. So that one was really cute. And then another one that I really thought was pretty was they're starting to have a series, and this is the first issue that this is in, but it's a Bible verse from Ecclesiastes 3.1. The one that to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens. Then it has like that whole verse, but look how pretty that is. I love the fonts and the colors. I have one similar to this from Stony Creek. That's the what is it? The Lord's Prayer, I think, in that same design. So those were in the winter issue. Very nice. And then they also have some free charts, where this is this month's free chart, which is a series, the dolphins. And I missed last month's because I didn't place an order, but this was January's. You can still order it, you just don't get it free. It's like $3.95 if you miss any of them. But this is what the whole series is going to look like. So on there. So I was able to get the second one. And then they also had this free chart for Christmas lambs. So this is Faith, and I'm assuming that every month they'll come out with a new lamb too, which was cute. So 2 free charts this month. You just pay the shipping. So I got these free charts with my magazine, and since I was ordering the DMC floss anyway, so. And then I got this Priscilla kit. It's a felt stocking kit called Arctic Santa. And my goal is to stitch, I want to cross stitch my whole family stockings, but because the ones I want to do are heaven and earth ones, they're going to take me several years to get done. So I thought in the meantime, I wanted to try, I've never done felt this kind of work before, but I thought maybe a felt stocking might be faster. So at least I make us a stocking, and then we can use these until I ever, until I get the cross stitch ones done. So I got this one for my daughter, the polar bears. And I'm not sure how I'm going to like doing these because I've never done them, but I think it's really pretty and it looks like it'd be fun. But the one that I wanted, that I picked out for my son and my husband and myself, they've all been out of stock. So this was the only one in stock right now that I could get. So I'm just going to watch for the other ones. So another fun thing I ordered for myself was these Mr. Sketch scented markers. We used to use these in art class when I was little, and I remember being in art class and just loving coloring with the markers because of the way they smelled. They smelled so good. So I ordered some of these to mark off my cross stitch patterns and to be able to sniff my markers. So I did order a couple extra packs and put some in my store. If you want some fun markers that smell good when you're marking off your cross stitch patterns, I have some listed in my store. But they have different sniffs, watermelon, cherry, orange, banana, mint, fruit punch, blueberry, grape, cinnamon, and licorice. So those are the colors and the sniffs that are in here. And they're very powerful scented. The sniffometer, or was that what they call it? Smellometer, sniffometer. Very high on the smelliness factor, but just something fun. And like I said, it kind of brings back those fun childhood memories of art class and sniffing the markers because they smelled so good. So we never grow up, right? Gotta stay young somehow. And then I got some Mill Hill kits. I needed 2 more in this series of the Snowbells that are from, I think they're Debbie Mum Designs. I had all of them except for 2, so I went ahead and picked up the other 2 I needed. So I needed this one, which is called Frank. And then I also needed Freezy. And I think there's 5 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think there's 5 total. So I had the other 3, and they all look like there's the other. So that's what the series looks like. And I got these because they're cute ornaments. And then for Christmas, one of the ones that I got was Reindeer Chorus, which I think is just sweet with them belting their little hearts out with their Christmas carols. And then I got this one called Candy Cane. I just thought it was sweet. Look at her little face where she's just so in love with her little candy cane. So I thought that was sweet. Then I got this one called Cardinal Santa because it's cardinals. And I like to stitch cardinals and ornaments for my grandparents in honor of them for Christmas. So I'll probably use this one some year for my grandpa. And then I also got these two to stitch for my grandma and grandpa's memory ornaments for the year. I got this one called Gift Giving Snowman because it has, that was really pretty. It's a Jim Shore snowman. And then I got this one with Feathered Friends snowman. So I'll probably stitch one in honor of my grandpa and one for my grandma for one of their yearly ornaments. I don't know what year, but one of them. And then I won this one off of eBay. I love the Dimensions Whimsy Halloween one, so I've been looking for this series. So I was able to get the mummy. So far I have this one and I have the pumpkin. There's still a witch one that I need, and I was thinking there was another one too. I can't think of it offhand though, with that one. Just a couple more things. I got this Riolas kit, Blue Jays. I think it's beautiful. I love Blue Jays too. Blue Jays and Cardinals. And robins. I love spring robins too. And then for Christmas, I got this Bothy Threads kit. That's a cardinal. It's a Westdale design one. And then the last thing I got was this cross stitch kit from Lettuce Stitch. It's the Spring Fairy. Look how pretty that is. And I was inspired to buy this one because I saw Yantina Stitches. She had got this kit and had started it, and it's really pretty. So if you don't watch Yantina Stitches, you should watch her. She's got a lot of beautiful projects, and she likes full coverage designs like I do. So but yeah, so that's the last. Oh, I have one more. I lied. So when I placed my order with for Silken Colors to get the floss for the hair for my Dark Queen, they sent it to me in this cute little origami like little cup, and I had ordered two colors. I had ordered this color because I wasn't sure which one I was going to use. This one is called Blackened Grass. Really pretty green because I wasn't sure what other color I was going to use with the other, but they sent me this thing. It's called Lanyap. That's how you say it, Lanyap. And it says a gift given at the time of purchase to a customer with thanks from the thread gatherer. So it's this cute little cup, and in here it had a free huge skein of floss, and it's a sunflower yellow, and look at the colors in that. It's gorgeous. And it's this giant skein, so I'll definitely find something to use that on. So I really appreciate the gift, or the lanyap, from the thread gatherer. Very beautiful floss, and I'm really enjoying stitching with the silk for my mermaid hair. So now that is officially everything. So again, if you're interested in winning the Redbirds magazine, don't forget to put Redbirds in a comment, and make sure that you're a subscriber to my channel. I would like to have one of my subscribers win, since I do appreciate them taking the time to subscribe and come back time and time again. So make sure to get your comment in for that. And like I said, I'll keep that open till March 15th. And just wish everybody luck that wants to enter that. And that's all I have for you. So really quickly, my plans going forward, I want to get back into my rotation and be sure to stick to it as much as possible, and try to figure out a good way to incorporate my Heaven and Earths that I typically would work on at work somehow in the rotation, so they don't get left behind. I think that's about it. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. And until next time, I hope that you stay healthy, stay safe, and just enjoy your stitching and get lots and lots of stitchy time. Happy stitching, y'all. Bye.